Welcome to Random Gleanings. I'm Chris. He's Jesse. Hey, Jesse.
Hey, Chris. How are you, man?
I'm doing well. Jesse, we've moved.
We have moved.
We bought a building. We're very excited about that. We encourage you to invest always. We invested as well. And I just want to say thank you for the privilege of serving you. We look forward to serving you in our new permanent location here at 242 South Pleasantburg Drive, Greenville, and we're fired up and can't wait for you to come by.
Absolutely. Now, let's give them a little bit of fair warning here, Chris. It's a nice building. It's basically a bomb shelter, but it's hasn't been maintained as well as maybe you or I might keep up our home. And so there will be some work to be done that we're very excited to share with folks along the way. And then ultimately when it's done, I'm excited that it's going to be a really, really, really great place.
Agreed. Fully. Okay, so on to other topics. Saw a note a little while ago from CNBC that the Senate and House are getting closer on a stimulus bill. They're talking around the $900 billion range. Jesse, when we were looking at this prior to the election, it looked like a split between the legislative and executive branch would be around a $600 billion stimulus package. So $900 billion is pretty surprising at this point from my viewpoint. Of course, the runoff for the Senate in Georgia doesn't come until January 5th. We won't know whether the legislative branch will go to the Democrats or the Republicans until that point. I'd probably prefer a split Congress in terms of what the stock market will like, but suffice to say we'll know more on that as we get into 2021.
Yeah, absolutely. And to your point, $900 billion, it may not be as big as what they were saying if it's an all blue government, but it just a reminder that in 2009, they came to the table with $750 billion to pull us out of the financial crisis. So that's a lot of money. A lot of money.
It is a lot of money. If the Democrats do win the legislative branch as well, you'll probably see more stimulus, which, like it or not, the stock market probably will like that. So bottom line, I don't see any reason to be getting negative right here. Okay, moving on to the next topic. We, back in October timeframe, started saying that we believed there was a whole group of stocks that had not participated in the rally that the tech stocks had participated in for 2020, and that we thought as we got closer to a vaccine, we would start to see some improvement out of those companies. Certainly don't want to sound like we're patting ourselves on the back, but that has come to fruition so far, which is good. And really think those ought to continue to add some value over the next few months. So we'll keep you apprised of what's happening on that front. Additionally, as we shared with you, we're treating this as the beginning of an expansion. We did have a recession in the second quarter, and now we are using the playbook of what works coming out of a recession.
Yeah, Chris, like you were saying, those companies that we were talking about late fall that weren't working, your energy, your financials, your utilities, those companies had such a discrepancy between their performance year to date, even after the recovery from the March lows, to what tech was doing. And so there's never been a gap as wide between two factors, between value and growth, as we experienced this year. And so it looked like an opportunity, and your notion as to the vaccine, optimism, bringing those things back to life certainly has borne itself out to this point.
Yeah, and that's good, and we'll just continue to go with it while it's working. To that end,
I mean, it's paying us a pretty healthy dividend to own those companies that are seeing some recovery while we, wait for a better opportunity to present itself.
Correct. That's exactly right. So to that end, 3 different companies having released the efficacy of their vaccines. There was a 60 Minutes interview with the military officer responsible for the dissemination of vaccines across the country in the United States a couple weeks ago on 60 Minutes. Really, really good. Would encourage you to go watch it if you still have some questions about how this is going to work, because it really sort of took some of the mystery and theory out of the fact that we're really closer to the end than the beginning of this, which obviously I know we're all excited about. I'll be glad when we're to the point of masks being less of a thought on the front of our minds. We're pretty positive. Wouldn't you agree?
I mean, absolutely, and you know, for the record, I'll put a link to that video in this post so that you all can find that. But yes, absolutely. You know, let's just remind ourselves where the economy was back in February. It was very strong, very, very strong, and you know, a pandemic will throw things for a loop, and we've all experienced that. Some certainly harder than others, but as a country, we're seeing business get back to some sense of normalcy and or finding a new normal in this environment that has shown the resiliency that I always am so fond of in American business.
Yeah, economic numbers have been very good on both the service and manufacturing side of things. Global numbers have looked way better. So yeah, we're positive. And if you go back to the history of the Roaring 20s, following obviously World War I, but also the Spanish flu, it's really a big question as to which one the Roaring 20s came from. Was it the end of the war, or was it the end of the Spanish flu? I tend to think you're seeing another setup of, obviously, you know, there's no guarantee of this, but we're seeing a pretty decent setup of a decent economy for a while. So we're optimistic.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's all I've got.
Tell me real quick, what did you eat for Thanksgiving? Traditional, untraditional, what did you do?
So my daughter is allergic to pecans, but I cannot not have a piece of pecan pie. So definitely had some pecan pie. It was good. How about you?
We you know, out of some concern that we may have had our scheduled dinner canceled, we did two turkeys 2 days in a row. So we joined a small group of family on Thursday, and it was great to see them. And Angie had thawed out a turkey for us just in case, and she went ahead and cooked it on Friday. So
very nice.
Well, I'm turkeyed out, man, turkeyed out, but it was great. It was great.
All right, friends, come see us. 242 South Pleasantburg Drive is our new address. Again, there will be more communication on that if you missed the email, but we look forward to seeing you soon. Obviously, all of our contact information is the same otherwise. And thank you so much for the privilege of serving your family. We will talk with you soon.